What's going on? What's happening? Part of my presence YouTube channel. I want to discuss the big news of today, which is the Bill Cosby release from jail. Now, everybody knows who Bill Cosby is. He is the creator of Fat Albert, the creator of The Cosby Show, A Different World. He is also known as America's dad. For all races, all nationalities, everybody looked up to Bill Cosby and the image that he represented. However, based on the whole Me Too movement, which all stemmed from a comedian's joke in their little session or little act, and it snowballed into a Me Too situation, and he was found guilty ultimately. Okay, but I want to back up a little bit because 30 women came forward, and because of the amount of women that came forward, everybody believed it to be true. And as a result of that, the jury pool will be tainted because it was a big story. No one could say that they never heard about what was going on. No one could ever say they didn't have an opinion of Bill Cosby beforehand. So it would have been hard to get people who were objective. Okay, but during the first trial, he was found not to be innocent, not to be guilty, but there was a mistrial. And the prosecutors decided to go again and try him again. And in that second trial, they did something that was illegal. They decided to unseal a deposition where Bill Cosby admitted to certain acts in regards to a deal that was made in a civil suit, a civil matter. And in that deal that he made with those previous prosecutors, he would disclose certain information, but he would not be prosecuted, and he could not be prosecuted for any future cases in relation to what he admits to. That was a deal that was made. The current prosecutors for this trial, the second trial, they unsealed those documents and they presented that evidence in the courtroom. And in that evidence also included 4 statements from other women. All those things never should have been admitted in trial. And as a result of that extra information that was not presented in the original trial that led to a mistrial, he was found guilty. So in other words, they pulled all the stops to get this man convicted. All the stops to the point where they overstepped their legal boundaries by violating Bill Cosby's legal rights. That's how bad they wanted this guy. Now, whether or not you feel that he's innocent or guilty, that's really not the concern. The real concern is to what extent they decided to go to get a conviction. Although it's surprising to me how quickly this came about as far as the appeal and him being released, you also have to ask yourself, of course he's been released. Of course the appeal was upheld, because what they did to him was completely illegal, and everybody knew it back then, but nobody cared because his reputation was already tarnished. He had nobody rooting for him publicly that had any reputation to protect, and as a result, he was railroaded. And a lot of people cheered. A lot of people were saying Me Too movement was legitimate. But people didn't realize that he has his own rights, which were also violated as well too. And the janky thing about it is the fact that 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, there was a story that came out where they mentioned Bill Cosby was denied parole because he refused to register as a sex offender. And as a result of him refusing to be registered as a sex offender and take certain programs for rehabilitation, he was denied parole. They made it seem like he has no remorse, he's not willing to reform himself and change his ways, trying to reinforce the fact that he is guilty, or that he's evil. And here's the funny thing, they offered that deal to him knowing damn well that his appeal hearing is pending, and the decision was pending, because the appeal occurred in December 2020. Right? He already appealed twice. So this was going to the federal or Supreme Court, and they're waiting for a decision. And they offered him that deal. It's a good thing he didn't take it. Because at that point, he would have been considered as a registered sex offender, and at that point, his name is Mud. But as a result of him standing up and standing on the square and refusing to admit anything, refusing to admit to being a sex offender in order to get himself released, it allowed him the opportunity to fight in court and get the appeal and not be fooled by the janky prosecutors. So, more of the story here, of course, is don't do any foolishness with women that you can't justify later on. That's number one. But number two, if you believe in yourself, if you have the conviction, if you know that you're innocent, always fight the law, study your case. Even if you're found guilty and convicted, it's still never too late. Although Bill Cosby lost 3 years of his life behind bars, he was able to live long enough to see another sunset outside of the prison yards. He's able to go now to any beach that he wants to because all of the charges were overturned, removed from his record, expunged, and he can never be tried again. So you'll never know, no matter how down you are, no matter how you feel that there's no opportunity for you to recover, there still may be hope. So don't ever forget that. Look at this story as a feel-good story as far as someone who was found to be guilty, although it was done illegally, stuck by his guns, fought the system, and won. That's what I get from the story, beyond anything else. So miss me with the Me Too stuff, miss me with everything else. I understand in regards to victims of sexual assault. I understand all of that. But what I'm saying and what I'm focusing on is, if you have conviction, if you believe in yourself, stick by your guns, stick to what you know is right, and fight it with all your heart and your might. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say for now. Part of my presence YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Until next time, may your next move always be your best move. Peace.